right, Rosie O'Donnell talking to the media and the microphone to resist Donald Trump.
Should not be president, and I don't believe that he's a legitimate president.
We are alive, awake, and we are woke.
People are embarrassed and ashamed of who he is, and that come Election Day, we're going to stand up at the polls and let him know.
Can you feel a brand new day? Can you feel a brand new day?
That's Rosie with Broadway Singers down in Washington protesting. So is this how the left thinks that they will win in November? Here to debate is RNC spokesperson Kayleigh McEnany and Jessica Tarlov of Fox News contributor. Thank you, ladies, for being with us.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right, Jessica, I'll start with you because I actually liked the peaceful protest of the Broadway singers. But we saw what happened to Candace and Charlie when they were just having breakfast in Philadelphia and see some Antifa people and then they walk outside and they're totally harassed. What is it why can't people have differences? Why is there so much hatred? Why is that happening?
I think people absolutely can have differences. And as you pointed out there, the protest that Rosie O'Donnell was partaking in, they call it the Kremlin Annex, which has been going on for weeks now, organized by the head of Hillary Clinton's grassroots organization project, has been completely peaceful about the communication of ideas and about showing President Trump that there are a number of Americans out there who are not a fan of him or his policies and will be showing up at the polls in November and also today, if you're in Ohio, in that special election, vote for Danny O'Connor, and then again in 2020 to make sure that there is a Democrat back in the White House. What happened to Candace Owens and Charlie Kirk is terrible. Antifa is a fringe movement that has nothing to do with the Democratic Party whatsoever, and I'm sorry that happened to them, but what's going on at the White House, as you said, it seems like a good time.
Kayleigh, a lot of people are asking why. Why are people so angry and so mad just because people support President Trump? Rush Limbaugh said it has nothing to do with policy. The blue wave has nothing to do with policy, instead hatred. What are your thoughts?
That's exactly right. I mean, we saw this going back to 2016 when President Trump just wanted to have a simple rally in Chicago, and that had to be shut down because of violence that stopped that from happening. And we've seen it go forward to today with Maxine Waters calling for violent protests against Republicans and Trump allies, and Sarah Sanders not being able to eat at a restaurant, and Charlie Kirk. And the examples are innumerable. And what this comes down to, Ainsley, is, you know, when we lost as Republicans in 2008, we organized. We came up with a coherent argument. The Tea Party rose to power and very peacefully put their ideas forward. When Democrats lost, there were calls to violence. There were calls to delegitimize the president. Instead of accepting the election results, they say unhinged things like what Rosie O'Donnell has said. But, you know, it's not going to win. Not going to win in November.
Jessica, Rosie O'Donnell said that the mainstream media gave Trump the presidency because they were too slow in coming around to call him a liar. And she said the media treated Hillary Clinton and President Trump equally when they were running against each other. You agree with that?
I agree with bits and pieces of that. We do know that the Russians targeted 21 states here. There are a lot of people beyond Rosie O'Donnell that do feel like they played a significant role in the election outcome. That's not just some fringe attitude there. What she's saying about the media treatment of Trump and Hillary being equal, there are a lot of people who make a legitimate case for the fact that the media harped on and on and on about Hillary Clinton's emails and let a lot of what was going on with President Trump, as we're seeing coming out now in the Mueller probe, for instance. We never saw his tax returns. That was glossed over as we sat there with a camera anxiously awaiting him to take the stage. Hours and hours and hours of media coverage just waiting for him to come out and talk to people. Hillary Clinton certainly did not get that kind of treatment. I believe that he is a legitimate president. I also believe that if you look at his favorability ratings right now, new Gallup poll, 58% approval with white people without a college degree, but only 29% approval with the rest of America. And that's what Rosie O'Donnell is talking about. This is not a president that is popular. This is not a man that represents all of us, and we've got to show up at the polls and take that back. And she's talking about voting. That's a get out the vote message.
All right. Well, I know you've said that Rosie is not the spokesperson for your party, but there are a lot of people that are already elected officials that have the same messages. You have Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, you have Elizabeth Warren. They're saying a lot of the same things.
They're definitely saying get out to vote there. I don't know anyone else who's saying that he's illegitimate.
Let me get Kayleigh in.
Yeah, there's a lot of people. You know, Rosie O'Donnell screaming in front of the White House about the election being rigged. It's not true. Even President Obama said not a single vote was changed. President Trump won in an electoral landslide. But the Democrats, although they're not screaming in front of the White House, some of them are not at least, they are making this coherent argument, or incoherent argument, I should say, about collusion. We see it with Adam Schiff. We see it with the DNC lawsuit against Russia that was dismissed by a D.C. court. They're making unhinged arguments, maybe not in the same way as Rosie, but are nevertheless saying the same thing.
Okay.
Democrats delegitimize, we organize.
Okay, Kayleigh, Jessica,
Can I just
thank you
add
so
also,
much.
Maxine Waters never called for violence. She
Yes,
explicitly did not use the word violent.
Let us know what you think.
Interpreted that
And
Let
way.
us
she
know
has
what
been
you
clear.
think. Let me hear from the people. Write us in response to that. Did she call for violence? Friends@foxnews.com. Thanks, ladies, for being with us.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Ainsley.
You're welcome.